Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten here, bringing you a new build in my series Building Nancy Drew in The Sims 4. Today I am bringing you my first build from Nancy Drew the Phantom of Venice. I haven't done a build for this game yet, just because I've found the locations kind of difficult to imagine in The Sims. There weren't any that I thought really lended themselves really nicely, really purposefully to The Sims. The more obvious location to build might be the Ca Nascosta, but I've been reticent to build that just because the way the Ca is structured within the game, we see so little of it, and it's likely a very historic piece of architecture and would be built in a very defining style. So I just didn't feel like I had enough information about what the rest of the Ca would look like in order to be able to do a accurate representation of what I think it should look like in The Sims. So instead I decided to do my favorite map location that we can go to in the Phantom of Venice, and that is the Rialto market. I probably did not say that with very good Italian pronunciation. Maybe there's a trilled R like in Spanish, the Rialto market. But I love this location. I love how sunny it is. I love all the flowers. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And Nancy really only sees a very small corner of the Rialto market. There's just the tiny little corner where she can buy flowers. She can buy kind of like a fumigator thing to get rid of wasps in order to make money. This is where she can get gelato. So we only really get this one very small view of the market, so I decided to create that small view and then expand the rest of the market into like a big open air Venetian market in general. So I've really expanded the space. I've added a lot more to it. I decided to make it a park in The Sims 4, and it has everything that it needs to function as a park. I did have to use one of the woohoo bushes as the toilet option because there wasn't anywhere that I could fit one in based on everything I wanted to include. But I did build this in Magnolia Promenade, so there are public restrooms just within the world nearby. So your Sims are covered there. They should have everything they need. My main goal with this was to make it feel very bright and vibrant and sunny and open. I wanted that fresh air feel. I wanted it to feel like a very welcoming place. This would be a place where people would come to socialize. There's chess tables, there are little cafe tables, there's tons of market stands, so your Sims can come here and sell things or purchase things from the vendors. So I just had a lot of fun with this build. It was putting me in an especially sunny mood, which is great since it's kind of that time of year when warm weather and sun is becoming more the norm. So it was really putting me in a very sunny, positive headspace, which was wonderful. It was a lot of fun to build. So I hope that you all enjoy how it came across as well. The main thing I did here in this corner was use a lot of debug items from the Get Together expansion pack, so I was able to kind of create some ruins around the outside, which I really liked. I really enjoyed kind of having part of the build be with some exposed ruins and then having more modern areas built up around it. I really enjoyed how that ended up looking. And then I made the landscaping super lush. I put really green flowers everywhere. I kind of researched what Italian plants look like or what the Flora of Italy is like, and from my very, very basic research, I kind of discovered that there's a huge variety of flora in Italy just because of the very different kind of ecosystems that Italy has. It has a lot of different altitudes and temperatures and seasons. So the main theme I was getting was that there was a lot of green, a lot of bright flowers. So I used lots of reds and oranges and yellows, and lots of kind of smaller or more manicured trees. So kind of like cypress trees or more the hedge bushes, olive type trees, those kinds of things. So that was my main goal with the landscaping. And then I also put pools kind of meandering all through the whole build, and that is supposed to get across the idea of the the places where the gondolas go. The name of what those are called is escaping me at the moment, but where the gondolas would go, obviously these little rivers are much too small for actual gondolas, so I kind of imagined in my head that this was more kind of where water would kind of flow through the park. There would be more offshoots of the gondola areas themselves rather than an actual area where the boats would go. But this is the actual Rialto market that we see in the game. So this is what I was trying to recreate specifically from the game. And I feel like I was able to use a lot of items that actually look very similar to in the game. So like this recycling bin, the shelf, which I eventually fill up with a bunch of flower arrangements, the planters, which are kind of mimicking the stall where you can buy fresh fruit or buy bundles of flowers. The bird feeder, which I loved because it's blue just like the one in the game. So you could very easily grab some bird food there and feed it to the pigeons, which I loved. And I was looking for the longest time for kind of a display case option. I just couldn't find it. I know we have it in game, but I couldn't find it. And I decided anyway, I wanted this to actually be a functional ice cream area. So I just decided to put a couple counters here and then put the ice cream machines here as well. Ice cream is obviously different than gelato, but it's pretty darn close, so I decided to include those so your Sims can come back here, they can make themselves a cone, and then they can hang out on either the picnic tables that I put down, or they can hang out on the cafe tables in one of the other areas. It was just so much fun kind of cluttering up the space and trying to make it feel very full and feel like there's just a lot of things to buy here. There's a lot of things to look at and a lot of things squeezed into a very small area, which does kind of feel very European to me, especially with like, giant booming populations in areas that used to be much more, there just weren't as big of populations in general. And then you had these really old ruins with fewer people, and now there's a lot of people but still the exact same amount of space, so everything is a little bit more squeezed in, and there's this really cool mix of kind of history and modernity. I like that a lot. I enjoyed that idea very much. I really enjoyed placing these picnic tables here too to kind of fill in the space a little bit more and make everything a little bit functional. A lot of this is something where you'd kind of have to use your imagination a little bit because the Sims won't actually be able to purchase these flowers or anything like that, but I wanted to at least get that idea across that maybe you could pretend like your Sims could purchase something from those. They can definitely purchase something from these market stalls that I am about to create as well after I place in one of these cypress trees again here. That was the one thing for sure I found that was definitely in Italy, was these kind of like tall manicured trees for sure. Doing the little cafe area here too, I like how this one juts right up next to the water. I really enjoyed how that ended up looking. I keep things fairly simple so that your Sims can hopefully actually get around to all of the tables and actually sit at most of these places. And there are different sections of this build that are kind of blocked off by the water, which would mean that your Sims might have to jump into the pool to get to certain places. They might have to hop in and then they would climb out on the other side. The debug items your Sims can kind of just walk through, so I think the main area that is actually based off of Rialto Market in the game, your Sims can just walk behind and walk through the debug walls there, so you can get there pretty easily. But like this little chess table area, your Sims might have to hop in the water or to get to the cafe area, or at least wander around to one of the different open areas. But I kind of like that too. It makes it feel a little bit more meandering, which kind of feels like Venice to me, at least the way it's presented to us in the game. I've never been to Italy or Venice, but this is kind of just what I gather from it, is that it's because there's water everywhere. The canals, maybe that's what they're called, canals, but just because the canals are everywhere, it would be kind of difficult to just like walk from place to place at times. There's areas that are divided up by the water. So I kind of like creating that little challenge for your Sims here as well. I had fun kind of filling in these market tables also. I decided to have one that was just knitted craftables. So we've got a bunch of the really cute little stuffed animals and like the cactus, the knitted cactus, and the llama knit object. I enjoyed doing all of that. And then for this market table, I decided to fill it up with kombucha and the fizzy juice that came with Eco Lifestyle, which I still think is so fun. I need to play more of that gameplay in Eco Lifestyle. I love the pack, and I have really gotten so much use out of the build, buy, and Kaz items, but I just haven't been playing The Sims a whole lot lately. I've been mostly focusing on doing builds for all of you, so I haven't done gameplay in a while, but I think next time I do gameplay, that's what I want to do, is kind of just have a Sim who lives off the land and could come to this marketplace. They could sell their kombucha and their fizzy juice, make some candles out of beeswax and all that good stuff. I just really enjoy that idea. That kind of gameplay sounds very fun to me. Perhaps because that kind of lifestyle sounds very fun to me. I'm sure it's a lot of work, but there's something that sounds very relaxing about making your own schedule and just creating things and then getting to kind of share them with the world in that way. I don't know. I love that idea. This sink is the only sink on the lot as well. I had to plop that in because it was a required object, so that is why that is there. But we are just kind of adding in the finishing touches here. We are going to be coming up on these screenshots very soon. If you would like to support the channel as a patron, that option is available to you at patreon.com/wizardkitten. You can also follow the channel Instagram or Discord, all linked in the description down below. And yeah, those are the plugs that I have for today. Those are the plugs that I have for today. I never know how long they're going to take when I'm doing voiceover, so it's kind of like, when do I start? Should I do them when there's like a minute left? Should I do them when there's 30 seconds left? Who knows? Tricky sometimes to figure that out. But we're adding in these final rocks here just to make the landscape have a little bit more depth to it, so it's not just all flat. I enjoyed how that looked, and then I create kind of a little water feature here, which I like to imagine is water kind of pouring in from the canals into these little outlets to really fill it in. I really enjoy how that ended up looking. I was very pleased with that. And then a couple of little bee houses and a little insect house. Those I wanted to have in here too, just so there were more activities for Sims to do and just to make it feel like there's more life in the market in general. But anyway, screenshots coming up here very soon. Thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Nancy Drew and Sims 4 content. Thank you so much for watching, fellow detectives. I will see you soon.